And welcome back to The Average White Guys. My name's Alex Haynes, one of the owners of A Squared. We're a marketing consulting firm that helps people get noticed online with done-for-you marketing and coaching services. I'm here with the illustrious, amazing, bearded, glorious Justin Scouten. Say hi, Justin.
Hey everybody, I'm Justin with Community Real Estate Services and LW Properties. Glad to be here tonight.
And I am glad to be here with you as well. And Justin, what are we talking about today?
Don't sweat the small things.
Really? What? Why are we talking about that?
Well, what really sparked this for us is I was listening to a podcast by Alex Ramosi, The Game. And in this episode, he started talking about some of the small things that he sometimes gets frustrated with and goes, really, was that even worth it? Why did I even waste a breath of stress on that subject? And it was interesting on this one because I ended up sending that to you and said, hey, why don't you listen to this? I think we can get a good topic out of this because this piqued my interest. And we got two totally different ideas of it when talking about what small stuff we get stressed about.
Well, actually, I didn't even get that. I missed that when we first started talking because I listened to the same podcast. And this is funny. People get different things they need to hear when they approach content. And so we didn't sweat the small stuff. But when you and I connected later about this, I remember asking you going, well, I didn't see that. I don't even remember him talking about that. And then you brought up like one sentence or two sentences in this podcast that like resonated with you. Yeah. What was that?
He gets his house cleaned by a cleaning lady, and sometimes the cleaning lady will put the spoons back in the different area in the drawer. And he gets so frustrated with it because he's like, there's other spoons in this drawer. Why are you putting them back in the same, in a different spot? And so that just stood out to me of that is completely a small, minute thing. And here he is getting frustrated with it. You know, here he is, he makes probably a few $1 million a year, and he's going to be stressing about something like that. And then it just made a reflection on me of just like sometimes we have those personalities that come out in us where we're like, you get so frustrated with certain things that just made no sense, and you should have never gotten that frustrated with it. And so it just sparked an interest for me. I love my dad. My dad has been a mentor for me for a lot of things. But my dad over the years had a very bad temper. Not like a hitting temper, nothing like that, but just could go off on things. And I have tried so hard to not do that because I always hated it growing up. And so that's what it was. It was always the small little things with him. And then that also carries over into our business, though. When you start to sweat the small stuff, you're not looking at the big picture. And that's what we need to do as entrepreneurs is we need to look at the big picture. What is really going to help us thrive and become a better business and not sweat those small stuffs. And that's what piqued my interest of that was such a minute thing. Forget about it.
So I didn't get what you got initially from the podcast. But funnily enough, 1 or 2 weeks later, because we're coming back from a little bit of a break, I realized I may have been lying to myself about not getting perturbed about small little things. For example, I did a presentation to a group where I made a video using AI-generated content, using my voice and some video, and made a digital twin of myself. But the problem was when I was done with it and presented it, or was about to present it, I almost didn't show it because it wasn't perfect. It wasn't at the level I wanted it to be to show how awesome this content could be. There were a few things that just bugged me about how the avatar moved, and if I had another 2 or 3 days, I knew I could perfect this and be as amazing as I wanted it to be. And I actually sent you the video and I said, I'm thinking about dropping the video and just using the voice. I'm so frustrated with this. I don't think it looks good. And you responded back to me. What did you say?
I told you, I think those small things are actually good in there because it shows how and what you can do with the AI, where you can end up tweaking some of the things in the AI. And people need to know that things are not going to be perfect. And how do we react with those things? And how can AI maybe change those things? That's what I remember telling you in that.
Yeah. And so afterwards, after you said it and I did it and it went well, I realized that I started sweating these little details because my issue wasn't day-to-day life. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm pretty casual with a lot of things. It takes a lot to push my buttons. But I get really crazily overwhelmed with the small details when I go to produce something or present something I've created. I am religiously dogmatic about presenting perfection and being the best at certain things. Is why I'm really good at marketing, because I've really honed skills. And if it doesn't meet a certain quality, I don't even want to put it out there because I feel like it reflects badly. However, when we go back to sweating the small stuff, it's actually prohibited me from doing things that are good enough where no one else is going to see those mistakes. And all I see are those mistakes because I'm not focusing on the right thing. So I think what you said really took, germinated, planted a seed and germinated in my mind. I started going, hey, I have to remember sometimes good enough is good enough.
Yeah, and I think sometimes what we need to realize too is that is also a practice run for you. And if you can use that as a practice run of how to get better at it next time, it's one of those that you see some salespeople that they're so dynamic with sales and how to talk with people and how to answer certain questions. It's because they've been doing it 10,000 times. And they understand the fact that, okay, now I know how to react because I've learned what not to do. And I think that's what we need to learn in businesses is let it go. You made the mistake. It's in the past. Well, now, again, like I said earlier, let's focus on the future and see the bigger picture.
You know, something that came to my mind is something someone said about what I do. It had me rethink about the small mistakes I make when it comes to presenting new content. And they said, hey, you're a pioneer in this world of using AI. A lot of businesses aren't adapting as quickly as I am, and they're not trying to do things like I'm trying to do. How many people do you know is trying to create a physical digital twin of themselves for their business?
Yeah, no, not many. And I think it makes people nervous too. Is it going to fail and those type of things? Yeah.
So when they said I was a pioneer, it finally clicked. You know, funny thing about pioneers is they got lost a lot, but no one thinks of them as getting lost. They think of them as forging paths because when they got lost, that became the path to success eventually because they found a way to get over that mountain. They found a way to get over that stream. They figured out how to tackle those issues they stumbled upon or into to then get to that new location where they built that new civilization. So being a pioneer means you're going to hit road bumps. But if you get there and then just quit, no one else can follow in your footsteps. So you have to be okay with letting go of some of the things and learning, okay, cool, we put something out. Did it work? Did it not work? Let's fix what we can fix. Let's figure a solution for this. Let's figure out how to make this better. Let's see how we can take this failure and actually turn it into a solution.
Yeah, and that's what the problem with entrepreneurs are. They get into this industry because whatever industry, they get into the entrepreneurship because they want to do better than where they were at. They want to make an impact. And so you wanted that perfection because that's what you think your clients demand. And you want to do the best for your clients. But it's also one of those things that if you look too much at the perfection, you're never going to get the big picture of what it really takes to make your clients happy.
So Justin, to our business owners, whether they're new entrepreneurs, people are about to go into entrepreneurship, or maybe they've been in business for 4 or 5 years, when we say, hey, don't sweat the small stuff, how can they apply that to themselves and to their business to help them get to that next level?
Did that mistake that you may have made on that small item or that thing that you contemplated, at the end of the day, did it really make a difference? Did it really make you a better person if you were stressing? And I think that's what you need to look at is, again, the end of the day, look at each day and just reflect on it and just kind of go, you know what? It's in the past. Let it go.
As someone who is a super about the details when it comes to producing content and producing quality, I understand why business owners may get into a really hyper-focused, it's all about the little details. And that could be correct. But here's the thing. At some point, as my business partner says, you're going to run out of time and money and you need to still deliver. We need to get this product out. And the reality is, and he told me this, it will never be good enough for you to ever deliver if we waited for you to be perfect, because you are always developing. You're always trying to get to that next level. So it's an impossibility for you to have a perfect product, because the minute it becomes perfect from yesterday, you're already at that next level trying to get even better. Because that's just how you work. You will never be happy with what you produce. But here's the crazy thing. What you're producing is 10 times better than everyone else. And they're happy with that, even though you're miserable. Give them this because this is what everyone wants. And keep working on getting better, because once you get there, you can then deliver that. But in the meantime, give it to the people. Make sure you deliver and don't stop, because it's still way better than what everyone else is expecting. So Justin, what is one other thing you would tell business owners? This is what I think you should do this week. Here's your challenge to try to put this into practice.
I'm trying to work on this myself. So here's what my challenge that I'm going to try and do this week, because this actually leads into our next podcast and some challenges we are doing with ourselves, is at the end of the day, was there something that you stressed about, and how did you end up reacting to that? And say, forget about it. That's what I would focus on. Look back on it and really think, okay, that was not worth it. And now you start to focus on it. Now you really are going to say, okay, these are the things that are stressing me out that don't mean anything. Because I think we go through the day and we don't realize those type of things that we are stressing about that build up into, they compile. And now they make us more stressed when we don't need it. So if we can reflect back and just take that one thing and say, okay, made a mistake, it's gone. Rearview mirror.
I think that's huge. Acknowledgement, then letting it go, and moving on, and knowing it may not be the end of the world is huge. You shouldn't carry that stress. It can make you sick. It can have physical toll on your actual body, that mental stress. It can hang you up and keep you from actually producing. It can be so bad that you quit and you actually stop doing what you're really good at because you got in your head. Don't let those things happen. Do what Justin said. Take this week, try to put into practice, let it go, forgive yourself. I know that's huge for a lot of people. Actually forgive yourself, right? Going, it's okay, I'm going to do better next time, and move on. Don't let it be a big thing. Don't turn a little pebble into a mountain, right?
Yep.
Well, we're so happy that you joined us today. We hope this was really impactful, that you got a good nugget out of this, and that if you're dealing with some stress because you just couldn't let something go, that we were able to encourage you to look at it, put it in the rearview mirror, and say, no more is this going to make me struggle with life. I'm going to move past this, and I'm going to do better, and it's just going to be gone. The stress is going to be over with. We hope that's what happens. Well, if you like this audio podcast, you thought it was good, please give us a like, share, and we hope to see you next time. We are the
Average White Guys.